All right, welcome to Neuro-Movement. My name is Stephanie, and today is the first class of the new year of 2023. We're going to do a basic floor kind of routine sequence on the mat to make sure you have lots of open space. As you know, we get pretty dynamic. Arms are flying, legs are flying, things are happening. So make sure you have lots of space. But before we do that, I am going to have us continue into the new year with some foot prep and foot mobilities, because the more we are connected to our feet, the better our gait is, and the more integration we have between our brain and the feet. So if we have a good connection into the feet, everything in between is going to be a little bit more primed and pumped for integration. We're not going to use the ball today. Again, no, we're going to keep it super simple first class of the year, but we are going to do some toe stretches. So holding onto a chair or wall for balance if you need. We're going to fold the toes back so the toenails are down. And then rolling your foot from side to side. So going from big toe side of the foot to pinky toe side of the foot. And kind of just feeling out how that feels today. And considering the more that you bring your heel behind you, still with that fold in your toes, that's going to be a bigger stretch on the actual toe, like your knuckles of your foot. And the more you sort of press the top of your ankle down to the mat, you're going to have more of a stretch on the front of the foot. Both are important, but play with both of those. And if you want a more intense stretch, you'll just slide the foot in a bit closer to the other foot and put a little bit more weight through it. You can kind of pick and choose what feels right for you. It may not be super comfortable, but I also don't want it to be excruciatingly painful. So find a sweet spot for yourself. Good, good. And then flip those toes over. So now we have the toenails upward and the pad of the toe down on the ground. And we're just going to work on some ankle priming here. So dropping the heel back and then pushing through up onto the toes. Okay, so nice and a nice movement for the ankle and the foot. Now, specifically, I want us to look down and make sure that that foot is facing forward and it's not angled out to the side. So make sure that the toes are forward, because I want to really make sure that we're covering the bases of toe mobility in this push off. If you have degeneration or arthritis in that big toe, that might not be super comfortable. Just do what you can. We got to maintain what we have, use it or lose it. Yep. So just rocking forward and back. And then of course, getting a little bit of weight shifting here. Now, if you feel comfortable letting go of your chair, or you can hold on to the chair with the other side, whatever leg is back, I want you to move that arm and swing it with the weight shift. Okay. And if you could do both arms, do both arms. We have back swing, forward swing, back swing, forward swing. Good. And I want you to take your gaze up when the arms come up. So this is bringing in that neuro movement, the vestibular and the visual system. And again, if you need to hold on to the wall or a chair for balance, please do that. Let's go 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. Step the feet together. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Toenails down first. Start at the top. Toenails down first. Let the toes roll, the knuckles roll from big toe side to pinky toe side. And as I mentioned before, I'll just repeat myself again. So we have 2 areas that we can stretch here, and you're going to probably bounce and play between the 2 of them. So we have the toe, like the knuckles stretching. And then you also have the front part of your ankle bone. Not your ankle bone, the front part of your ankle. So you can kind of press and bend that aspect here, getting more stretch in front of the ankle. And all of this is important range of motion, that plantar flexion. So when I'm saying point your feet, this is what I'm talking about. I really want that like really pointed ankle. Okay, see how much openness in the ankle there is? Moving back and forth. And of course, if you want more of an intense stretch, pull it closer to the other foot and put a little bit more weight through there. Very good. And then let's go toenails down, toenails up. So pads of the toes down. and making sure that that back foot is forward. Lower the heel and then push off the heel, working on toe mobility in that extension. Getting weight shifts, starting to swing one hand or both hands, depending if you need to hold on. And then adding in the eyes lifting when the arms come up. Okay. How high can you get those arms on this one? Can you get them so that your biceps frame your ears? And maybe your eyes, whoa, Steph, see, that's the vestibular effect. Maybe your eyes go all the way to the ceiling. And we'll go for about 5 more swings, 4 more swings, 3, 2, and last one, and release. Nice job. All right, we're gonna make it down to the floor. So go ahead and find your way down. I want you to take particular notice of how you get down to the ground. What's your strategy of getting to the floor? Just take note of it. There's so many different ways. How did you get there? Yep. Did it feel clunky? Did it feel smooth? Did you use your hands? How many steps did it take? All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and lay on our back. We're gonna be going through some pre-Pilates exercises. For those of you that haven't been to my class yet, my background is in Pilates. So if you've ever done Pilates, a lot of this will feel similar. We're gonna bend your knees so that your feet are flat on the ground, have a hook lying position. Yep. And we're gonna separate your feet so that they're about width apart. If you don't have a mat like me, you're just gonna go wider than your hip, like a lot wider. Like go what you think would be and then go a little bit more. And then we're just gonna let the knees fall from side to side. Yep. Beautiful. The legs are falling from side to side. And we're gonna bring in the head movement again and the eye movement again with this. So as the knees fall to the right, you're gonna move your head. So rotate your head and your eyes to the left. And then as your knees swing to the other side, your eyes rotate to the other side. So the knees and the eyes are going in opposite directions of one another. And in fact, let's bring your arms out into a T and have thumbs up. And take your eyes to your thumbnails every time you rotate your head. You're looking, you're focusing on that thumbnail every single time. Getting our little saccades in here when we get a hip and back stretch, right? I'm all about it. We'll do 2 or 3 more. Nicely done. Finish with your knees to the left. And you can have your eyes just at the ceiling here. Knees to the left. We're gonna take, this is like Simon says, left foot on top of your right knee and give it a little extra traction. Yeah. So your left foot went on your right knee and gave it a little extra traction. So it's like if you were in an in-person class, the teacher came over and just gave you a little extra pressure for that stretch. Oh. Nicely done. All right, we're gonna plant our feet flat on the mat again. Make sure that they're super wide. Both of them are super wide. We're gonna do the rotations. We're gonna do about 4 or 5 before we do the other side. I just wanna make sure that we're in the right spot because sometimes when we get to the second side right away, it doesn't line up in the best way. And then let your knees fall to the right. So your feet are still pretty wide and your right foot comes on top of your left knee for that extra bit of traction. Yeah. And we're still trying to have that left knee down towards the mat. Like it's like flat. You're very two-dimensional right now. Breathing into that hip. Maybe you feel it on the inside of your hip flexor. Maybe you feel it in the sacrum. Maybe you feel it on the side of your hip. Maybe your body doesn't like this. For whatever reason, it's resisting. And then go ahead and flatten out those feet again. Let's walk your feet in a bit more so that they're right underneath your sit bones, about hip width apart. We can bring our hands down by our side, getting us ready for bridging. Wide open collarbones, press your hips up towards the ceiling. Hold your bridge. Take a moment to feel your feet on the ground. Your whole foot should be attached to the floor. And I like to think of the foot as like a tripod. So you have your tripod from the big toe side of the foot, the pinky toe side of the foot, and then right in front of your heel. That's what I'm talking about when I say the foot tripod. So big toe, pinky toe, heel, tripod. All 3 points are on the mat on both sides. Have we held this bridge long enough? I think so. Lower down. So holding your tripod, we go up and down with that bridge. Go ahead and move through just a normal hip bridge, but focusing on that tripod. Toes are heavy, heel is heavy. You have this activation in the inside of the foot. We're going to do about 3 or 4 more here. 2 more. And last one. Press up and then super slinky articulate down. One by one with the spine. Very nice. From here, roll onto your side facing knee. Bring that bottom arm underneath you so that it gives you a pillow for your ear. If that shoulder mobility doesn't feel right for you, you can bend or you can use a real pillow. Okay, bending the knees up. Pinwheel stretch, fan favorite. Here we go. Step the arm forward. The front of your chest is going to come down to the mat. Try to trace on the ground with your fingers. Spiral it up. You're going to touch your other hand if it's long like mine is. And we're going to rotate the heart open towards the ceiling. On the back side here, I want you to bend your elbow. Sweeping your hand down towards your heels or your hips, we're going to look up as if you wanted to see a little leprechaun perched on the side of your hip. You're like, hey man, what's up? And then sweep forward. Sweep around, give yourself a high five as it comes over the top. Open up the heart towards the ceiling, bring your elbow into a little elbow bend. We curl our head and shoulders up to look at that little leprechaun on our hip, and then we continue on our way. Here we go, couple more. We're gonna rotate open. Oh, spend a little bit of time in any area of that movement that you need to spend more time in. Your body's craving it. Nice. Sweeping around. That head and neck lift is super important on the way around. One more time here. And sweeping through. We're going to plant that top hand down on the mat right in front of our chest and push through up into a side sit. Okay. We're going to switch our feet to the other side. Bonus points if you can get those legs around without using your hands. Maybe even butt scooting a little bit. And then lay on down to the side. So other side here, we have our arm, making a pillow for our ear, or use a real pillow. Same thing on this side, stretch forward, chest comes all the way down to the mat, sweep up and around, give yourself a high five on the way, bend the elbow on the back side, opening up your heart towards the ceiling. As your hand comes past your hips, we're gonna look up at that little leprechaun sitting on your hip, and then reach forward again. Beautiful. Opening up. Lift. Rotating open, and go ahead and move at your own pace here. And as I mentioned before, you know, if there's a spot like within that movement, maybe you need to spend a little bit more time in just to feel that stretch. And really allow that shoulder to shrug up to your ear. Don't shy away from that. That kind of cue of like shoulders out of your ears. You know, sometimes we need to lift our shoulders towards our ears. Hard to always move away from the ears. We're never, you know, there's 2 sides to that story. Good. One more time here. There we go. And then top hand is gonna land right in front of your chest. Press yourself up into a side sit, and we'll hang out right here. All right, so I want everyone to get on the same page here. We're gonna have everyone's legs pasted off to the right side. So if you're not already there, go ahead and get your legs off to the right side. It makes it easier for me to cue sides, right? All right, these are all familiar exercises for those of you that have been coming to class. We're sort of like recapping everything that we've learned last year. So we're gonna bring ourselves into this side kind of twisted prop position with our hands here. All right, so I want you to bend your elbows so that you come down to the mat with your heart and then push away and look up towards the ceiling. So find something on that high diagonal that you're gonna bring your gaze to every time you lift. We're gonna come down, the chest will touch, not your nose, and then your eyes come up to that spotted object. Go ahead and move through that little push up a few times. And for those of you that are already looking for an up level, when you come down into the push-up, you're gonna kick the top leg out and up. High, high, high. Carry high, high, high. There you go, girl. And then fold it in, eyes come up to that spot. So we kick out and then up. Nice. Out and up. Couple more. I know, we're getting a little tricep work here. 2 more. And last one. Beautiful. Press yourself all the way up to a seated position. Some of you are going to need to prop a little bit. If you don't need to, don't use that prop. This side leg, your right leg, we're going to actually fold it behind us a bit more so that ideally we have our laces down. There's that stretch that we were talking about in the top of the ankle and the heel pretty close to the body. Now, if your body does not move that way today or ever, well, maybe not ever, let's not say ever, you can grab a pillow, sit on top of that pillow, and it'll give you just a little bit more space, okay? I always have a plethora of pillows nearby just to demonstrate. All right, so we're gonna do what's called femur rolls. This hand is still out to the side. The idea with femur rolls is to get your hip bone to rotate towards the opposite knee pit. Okay, that means the booty meat is going to be off the ground. There's like some space behind you. Then we're going to come down. The booty meat is going to try to touch the floor. So we go off the floor, touch the floor. And I like to use this hand as like a little guide. Pushing and then dropping. The idea with this one is that we get the femur to rotate within its socket. Okay, so we need hip rotation, femur rotation in the socket for really efficient and powerful gait. Maintain that rotation. You got it. And we'll do that 2 more times. Beautiful. Last one. Perfect. All right, you can still have this hand here or not. You're going to take your right hand and grab your ankle. We're going to try to touch that ankle as you rotate that thigh into some sort of cross in the front, okay? And the challenge here is to maintain some sort of contact to that ankle throughout that transition. So it could be just like your fingertips touching your skin as you rotate behind and then land exactly where we just came from, okay? Continue with that. Keep playing with that mobility. Good. If you don't need this hand, see if you can do it without that hand. Very nice. Good. Still holding on. Now noticing for yourself, how much do you how much do you side shift into your left hip? Can you try to stay stacked throughout that? Pretty much stacked. Nice. We're gonna do one more time. Hold the leg in front. Beautiful. Tuck it in. Crisscross applesauce. Beautiful. Oh, do we know it's coming? Transitions over your shins. Painful? Maybe. Nice for your nervous system? Yes. Rocking forward and back over the top of your shins. Give yourself a little booty boost over the top and then come forward. Nice. Yep. And again, if you're having trouble getting that first kind of bump over, put a pillow behind you so you get basically a little booster seat to start off. Good, maybe 1 or 2 more. Nice, last one. Good, and we're here in cross-legged. Just give yourself a quick forward fold stretch forward. You might feel stretch in the hips, sacrum, low back. Nicely done. Bring it on up. We're gonna do that whole sequence on the other side now. Hopefully I remembered it all. So let's go ahead and find your side sit with your legs to the left. Legs to the left. We did our little push-up first. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. Maybe I should make this a memory game for you. All right, so we're gonna go push up. Chest comes down to the ground. Eyes come up, find your spot. What are you gonna look at every single repetition? Bring your eyes into the equation. We drop down and then push. Drop down and push. If you wanna level up, the leg kicks high when your chest goes down. The leg tucks in when your chest comes up. Think height with that leg. I want nice and high. Yes, good. Love it. Good. Try to bring your heart to the floor, not just your nose. And we'll say towards. Oh, my watch is talking to me. Yep, 2 more. You got it. Last one. Beautiful. Bring it up. We're going to slide this leg into your Z sit. So this kind of foot pops forward. And then we have the laces down, toenails tucked under. Yeah. Hand can be out to the side for a little post if you need it. Remember, we're going to go hip to opposite knee pit. So it rolls forward, squeeze your booty to get it there. You have space now in this area. Drop it down so that your booty meat gets closer, if not touches the floor. Okay. Keep moving through that forward and back. And again, you can use this hand to facilitate that movement. Another thing I didn't say on this on the other side, but try and keep your back flat. So when your hips come back, try not to let yourself go into that flexion. Keep yourself in that nice tall posture when the hips come down. Yeah. And again, if this doesn't feel right for you, 1, try the pillow underneath your booty. And 2, just do what you can. You know, it may not be super big to start. All right, leg swap to front with that connection with your fingertips or your full grip if you can. So we're gonna go leg comes around into almost a cross-legged sit or whatever you, something resembling that. Yep. And then lean off to the side and place that leg back to where you came from. Very nice. Now working through this, seeing if you can let go of that hand that's on the ground. Nice. And then limiting how much weight shift you have. And if you want to try to go no hands, go no hands. It's like, whoa, you're holding a glass of water on your head. Nice. Last one, finish with it forward. You got it. So we have now the left leg in front, hop over the shins, cross-legged transition to quadruped, and cross-legged transition to sit. Cross-legged transition to quadruped, cross-legged transition to sit. Now, if this doesn't feel right for you, I want you to try with a booster seat or just come into hands and knees, cross the feet, and work on just putting some weight through the shins. You can just stay in this first half or second half, I guess technically it would be. Nice. All right, everyone's gonna meet in the quadruped position regardless of what version you're doing. So finishing up, we are in hands and knees, also known as quadruped. Hands and knees. Go ahead and uncross your legs if they were crossed. And I want you to dorsiflex your feet, which means pull the tops of the shins to the tops of the feet to the shins and tuck those toes in. Okay. Now, when you sit your hips back over your heels, this is sort of like child's pose, but we're not resting right now. We are trying to stay active. So we're primed with that ready position in the foot. We have lots of tension going on in the thighs. You're going to bounce 3 times in that back position and then launch your body forward. Bonus points if you can get your hips to drop to squeeze your booty. So we drop back, 3, 2, 1, launch. And those hands are going to be stretched out to start, but then in the quadruped, they're going to be sort of like underneath you. Your shoulders might come forward, okay? Takes a lot of shoulder strength to have that position, a lot of wrist mobility, hand flexibility. Beautiful. So getting a little bounce, bounce, prime it, and then power out. Bounce, bounce, quick. Working on different speed, tempo. Quick, quick, power. Yeah. 3 more. 2 more. Yep. Last one. Bring it back. Nicely done. Roll yourself up into high kneel position. High kneel position. We're going to untuck the toes. So now again, we have that flat ankle that we prepped at the beginning of class, right? Arms out like a zombie. Oh, love, hate this one. It's called thigh stretch. We're going to have the knees almost together, if not actively trying to almost squeeze, but not squeeze, squeeze, but not squeeze. We're going to lean the body backwards. I also call this the matrix move. And then push through your shins and come forward. Good. Lean back. And then push through your shins and come forward. Good thigh stretch. Little thigh burn too. Leaning back. Push through your shins. Alana, nice job, girl. Bring it back. Push through the shins. Keep the hips tucked underneath you. A zip in the front line. Good. One more time. Lovely. We're going to bring that left foot forward. Come into a half kneel position. Half kneel. All right. So we're going to have your left hand on the inside of your left thigh. And that's going to help us push the thigh out to the side. Your right arm is going to come in front. I want you to look at something just beyond your fingertips. So find something in front that's like you're spotting with your fingertips there. We're going to bring the arm up towards the ceiling. Brush your ear with your bicep. Rotate your torso and bring your hand to aim at something behind you. And I want you to find that thing just beyond your fingertips behind you. Okay, so now we have 2 targets, yes? Sweep the arm down low. Forward target. Up and over the top, back target. Sweep down, forward target. Up and over the top, back target. Beautiful. This mobility in your head, your shoulders, your torso, the ability to go from a front target to a back target, driving, merging, looking behind you, right? Is that lane clear? All things and skills that we need to keep primed for independence, right? It's never too early to think about that stuff. Reach up and sweep. 2 more. And last one. Love it. Return. Now, right foot's going to go, right knee is going to go back underneath. Right foot comes forward. Find your balance there. Right hand on the inside of your thigh to keep that knee from draping inward when we rotate. Okay, that's the idea with that one. Left arm forward, find your spot. Probably the same thing, but just off the top, off the fingertip. Bring the arm up, brush your ear with your bicep. Find your new spot behind you. Maybe the same, maybe new. Sweep it down, forward spot. Up and over back spot. Forward spot. Up and over back spot. You got it. Forward spot. Up and over back spot. Your eyes are shifting from forward to back. Nice. Yes. Wow. We got 3 more. 2 more. And last one. And reset. Bring that knee underneath you. All right. We're going to go left foot forward. Sweep it back. Right foot forward. Sweep it back. Left foot forward. Sweep it back. Right foot forward, sweep it back. Go ahead and move through that. Now I want you to make that cross body connection as well. But we're gonna go foot forward, hand touch, foot forward, hand touch, opposite side. Now notice your movement. I want you to think about like, oh yeah, I got this stuff, like no big deal, whatever. Let's try to make that narrower. So if you were in a really narrow hallway, you would not be able to whip your leg around. It needs to come directly underneath you, directly back. Directly forward. Yeah, and some of you with the yoga mat, you're really like, it's getting annoying. Yeah, either move off of it or, yeah. And you know, that cue, it helps us with that foot mobility. It kind of requires that ready foot and then sweeping the top of the foot. Yeah, a little bit of agility. We'll go for 2 more. And last one, finish with your left leg forward. Left leg forward. We are now going to take that left leg a little bit out to the side so it's at a 45-degree angle, maybe similar to what we did on the first round. Both hands come down to the mat. Some of us, it may already be a big stretch. If you want more of a stretch, slide your back knee back. There you go. So it becomes a little bit of a runner's lunge. I want us to let ourselves drape your front knee out to the side so far that you start to go on the outside of your foot. And then bring that knee so that it hugs your, kind of hugs your shoulder, hugs your tricep. Good. Out to the side and then in. Now, if this feels like still too much of a stretch, you're going to use a piece of furniture or the wall and you'll just be here. Yeah. But I want that knee to be moving from side to side. Yeah. Work on the edge of that ankle. Stretch the outside of your ankle. Yeah. Let's go 2 more. And last one. Here is the transition. Both hands stay on the mat. Slide that foot back to where it came from. You're in a little plank. Can you bring that right foot forward without taking your hands off the mat? And if you needed to, that's okay. We're landed. All right, find your sweet spot in the stretch with the knee the appropriate distance behind you. And then the front knee, the right knee is going to drape out. You'll be on the edge of the foot. And then it comes in to hug your tricep. Out to the side, hug the tricep. You got it. Yeah. Nice. We'll go for 2 more. And last one. We're going to step that foot back, come into your little mini plank. Hips are low. Good. How about that right side? Can you bring it forward? I'm sorry, your left foot forward. My right foot, but your left foot. Yeah. Nice job. All right. We're going to take your left hand and place it on top. Rotate. So push through that thigh, rotate and look over your shoulder. We're going to bring that right elbow. I'm sorry, I keep saying right side. This is your left side, Steph. Left elbow is going to come as close as you can to the mat. It may not get there. I know you're like, you're crazy. Let the knee drift out to the side. Let this knee drift out to the side. Yep. Right hand comes on top of the thigh to help you rotate further in your torso. Eyes look as far as you can to the right. Get them to the corner of your face. Sorry. Eyes go to the left, excuse me. And then left elbow comes down to the mat. We're going to look to the right. Eyes go to the right side of your face as far as it'll go. Left rotation and eyeball. Right rotation and eyeballs. Left rotation and eyeballs. Right rotation and eyeballs. One more time. Right rotation and eyeballs. Left rotation and eyeballs. Left. I'm just gonna stop saying left and right. How about that? All right, both hands to the mat. Transition into your little mini plank. Right foot forward. Right hand on the thigh. Right rotation, right eyeballs. Right elbow comes down to the mat. We look to the left. Did I get that correctly? I think so. Same. Rotate open. Eyes go to the side of your face. Elbow comes down to the ground. and open, or towards the floor. I know that towards the elbow thing is hard. It's a lot of rotation, a lot of hip mobility. Good, work the eyeballs. Nice. Maybe one more time each. Excellent job. Hands come to the mat flat. Slide the foot back. Let's go knees wide, toes towards one another. And then this is like a child's pose, but I call it froggy because the knees are wide. Go ahead and come down onto your elbows. And we're gonna rock. We're gonna pull the body forward over your elbows and then press the hips back towards the heels. Try to get your knees super, super wide. So some of you that are working on a yoga mat, I even encourage you to turn sideways so that your knees aren't limited by the width of your mat. Yeah. Even if you don't go wider than the mat, don't give yourself those external constraints. And, you know, just in case you had that extra centimeter. Yeah. All right, we're going to go for 2 more. And last one. Good. Go ahead and bring the knees in underneath you. And we're going to slide into a seated position with the legs out in front of us. Yep. All right, long sitting, especially if you have tight hamstrings. Love-hate relationship again with this positioning. So if you have tight hamstrings that kind of make it hard to sit this way or make you kind of slump back, just bend your knees, maybe place your hands underneath your knee pits to help pull yourself into that extension. Good, shoulders open and wide. From here, we're gonna come into that high extension, eyes come up towards the ceiling, puff up your chest, even pull on those thighs. And then let's give in to that roundness. Point your toes, let the legs go straight and round your spine. Yeah. Flex your feet, draw yourself up into that tall extension, bend your knees if you need to, and then round. It's like seated cat-cow. Take your eyes into it. Yes, eyes come up, open collarbones, exhale. Eyes come up, flex the feet. And one more time, we go up and flex down. Beautiful. Use this flexion here. We're going to give into it and let ourselves lay down on the mat. So lowering down nice and slow. Good. Don't let gravity win too easily. Nice. Looking good. How we doing? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Okay. Arms out to the side again. I want you to make them fists with the thumbs up. That gives you a little bit of energy out through the hands. And we're going to bring your right leg into tabletop, which just means bring it up at a 90 degree. There we go. All right. So we have 3 limbs on the floor. Well, depending on who you're asking, you might have 5 limbs on the floor. Your head and your tail is a limb. And then we have 1 leg up towards the ceiling. So we're going to kick the free limb straight up towards the ceiling. The rest of your limbs on the ground, we're going to kick down into the ground. Okay, so active, like stability through the other limb. Bend your free limb into tabletop again, and then kick the limb straight up towards the ceiling. And again, you're like, no big deal. I got this. Can you keep a dorsiflex foot the whole time? So you're trying to place a footprint on the ceiling, not just your toes. So get your heel printed up there too. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more. And last one, squeeze your quad, hold the leg, hold it up, up, up. We're going to point the toe, cross it over the body, but look away from your foot towards that thumbnail, similar to what we did earlier. We're going to bring the leg up towards the ceiling again and let it reset right there. So we're going to cross the body with your leg, theater it over, bring your eyes to the opposite thumbnail, and then up towards the ceiling. Good. So you're getting full body rotation similar to what we started with. Rotate, let the weight of your leg pull your body into the stretch, and then actively engage in those limbs to help you bring the leg up towards the ceiling. Again, we got 2 more. Push down and lift. Yes, last one. Push down and lift. Love it. Tuck that foot back where it came from. And then release all the tension in your body. Just let yourself wiggle on the mat. Take out the leg. You know, and so much stability. We just need to wiggle it out. All righty. Fists again, thumbs up towards the ceiling. I'm going to say left leg to the, left leg in tabletop. Is that the side that we did not do last time? Yeah. Okay, we were on the same page. Left leg. We're going to kick the leg up towards the ceiling and bend the knee back to where it came from in tabletop. Remember, the other limbs that are still on the floor are pressing down in stability as the energy of your left heel goes up to make a little heel print on the ceiling. In fact, let's do this. Let's try to make the heel print, but no toes on the ceiling. That means you have to really pull the top of your foot so that your toes are like lower towards your face than your heel, yeah? Oh, just the heel print. You got it. 2 more presses. And one more time, big squeeze in the quad, hold. Point your foot now, which is a nice little relief on the hamstring. Roll that hip, the leg over the midline, the opposite side, and you're going to take your eyes, that thumbnail, away from your foot. We bring the leg back up towards the ceiling and reset. The leg goes over the body and crosses over, looking at your thumbnail, and then up towards the ceiling. Good. Couple more here. Cross, let the weight of the leg pull you into a little stretch. And then the stability, the push from your right limbs is going to help you bring your leg back up towards the ceiling. Up and over. And then center. We got one more. Up and over. And center. Nice job. Slide that leg back up where it came from. Wiggle out the body. Let go of that tension. Woo. Bend your knees back in so that your feet are flat. And we have our palms facing up, sort of down their sides here. Press your hips into your bridge. And again, pause here, especially on the first bridge. The first repetition, I always like to just pause and check in, like, what is happening? We have the tripod of the feet going for us. We talked about that earlier. Our hips are lifted, tail is tucked underneath, and our heart is open and wide. Okay? Go ahead and do your bridging here, just the same as we did at the beginning of class. Tapping the hips down, press the hips up. Tap the hips down, press the hips up. Good. For some of you, if your knees feel a bit flayed, I'm going to encourage you to try squeezing an imaginary soccer ball in between your knees. Imaginary soccer ball in between the knees, squeeze it. The soccer ball doesn't give very much, but you're definitely holding it in place. You're going to do one more of those bridges and then articulate on the way down, nice and slinky through your spine. And release down. From here, bend your knees in towards your chest, grab behind your thighs, point your toes so that you have energy at the end point of your body. We're going to curl the head and shoulders up into a little abdominal curl, making yourself in the smallest ball possible. Beautiful. And then lay your head and shoulders down on the mat again. Good. Now, as you go for this trunk curl, round 2, number 2, I want you to try to keep your thighs where they're at and pull your upper torso towards your thighs. Your thighs haven't like collapsed into your chest. They're sort of at this 90-degree angle. And then return down. So there's some energy that has to go through those legs so that they don't get pulled towards you. Yes, you have to sort of be like 10% pushing them out and then return. And then we're going to start to rock that a little bit. So as you curl the head and shoulders up, your legs are sort of going to kick out and you might be able to kind of boost yourself up into a seated position and then rolling back down. And we did that quite slow. You might have to do it a little bit faster. But getting a little bit of kick through those legs to help you sit up. And then take that into consecutive rolls. And just have fun with it. It's fun to roll around. Feel like a little kid. Just keep your head tucked underneath you. You know, as I say that, actually, that's like good falling technique too, you know, like tuck the chin. Never too early to start thinking about that. We're gonna go for 2 more of the rolling. Beautiful, last one. Hold your seated position. So roll yourself up, get all the way into a seated position. Roll your legs off to the side. So we're in this side sit position. Roll again into hands and knees. Let the hips fall back to where they just came from. Bring yourself into your rolling position. Roll back 2 or 3 times. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Roll up to a seated. Let your legs drop off to the other side, whatever that is, and continue that roll into hands and knees. So how fluid is that transition from laying on your back essentially to rolling up and shifting over into quadruped? Lots of mobility, lots of core, coordination, vestibular. You're moving your head around in space. The environment is changing everywhere you look. That is vestibular training. We're going to go 2 or 3 more. Finish in quadruped. Finishing in quadruped. We're going to tuck those toes underneath us. We're going to start making our way to stand here. And if you have another way that you'd like to get there, be my guest. All by all means, go for it. But I am going to show us one version, maybe not so super efficient, but again, it gives us context and variety. So we're going to tuck the toes underneath, flip forward into your hands, hike the hips up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do that bit just a few more times. So we're going to shift forward into the hands, knees come down, shift the hips back. Shift forward, hike and press back. Shift forward, knees down, sit the hips back. Okay, go ahead and move through that a few times. Lots of shoulder strength getting up there, huh? Finish in your A-frame right here, or finish up that last rep. Start to walk your feet in. You can bend your knees if you need to. Pause, still with your hands on the mat. Yeah, blood rush, yeah? We're going to bring our hands to the backs of your thighs, backs of your calves, backs of your thighs. You're like, ooh, I'm feeling myself. Roll your spine up nice and slow, tucking the tail underneath you. Take your time coming up, especially if you have some vertigo or orthostatic hypertension things going on. Slowly bring your eyes up, let yourself stabilize, and then walk around the room when you feel stable. Walk around the room, see how you feel. We did not do a pre-gait test today, so you're gonna have to compare this post-class gait to maybe what your norm is. And especially if you have a friend with you, maybe seeing, hey, friend, do you notice anything different about the way I'm walking? Do I have more swagger? Do I have more weight shift? Do I have more arm swing? Do I have more hip rotation? Am I free? Am I loose? Right? Come to your center of your space, please. And take a moment to pull all of that together in a mental way. If you want to hold on to a chair for balance or just touch the wall for some stability. And if it feels right for you, close your eyes. Notice the postural sway that might be happening in your body after a bout of healthy movement. That postural sway takes us from quadrants or sides of our feet and guides us to move through from one side to the other. And if you are not feeling the natural postural sway, let's go ahead and grab that here. So just a natural weight shift or a seemingly natural weight shift from side to side. As I've mentioned before, that postural sway is so important. It allows us to absorb forces and let them be distributed and exit with ease so that those forces don't get stuck in our body with stagnation. We want things to be able to pass through us fluidly. Energy, forces. Go ahead and roll your shoulders up to your ears and then open your collarbones wide. We'll do that 2 more times. Shoulders come up to your ears, open the collarbones wide. Last time, shoulders towards your ears, and then open the shoulders wide. Big inhale up, breathing through the ribs, and then exhale down. Nice job, everyone. So that form of class style is kind of a primal mobility and strength. So if you like that, let me know after I turn off the recording. We can open up the floor. You can give me feedback on that style.